Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for Manchester United's game against West Brom. So score prediction, I'm going to go with 3-0 to Manchester United. I think the goal scorers will be Edison Cavani, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. I've already given you my starting 11 prediction for this game. But like I said on the preview, I'm expecting Manchester United to win this game. We are second in the Premier League and we've got a very, very good away record. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. The last time we lost away from home in the Premier League was to Liverpool back in January 2020. We've won our last two visits to the Hawthorns. We haven't travelled to the Hawthorns since 2017. We had that very, very good game at the Hawthorns back in 2013. It ended 5-5. That was Sir Alex Ferguson's last game in charge of Manchester United. Earlier on this season, we beat West Brom 1-0 at Old Trafford. It was a controversial penalty decision. But I've got to say, that game at Old Trafford earlier on in the season was very, very poor and it lacked quality. I think West Brom could go back down this season. I think like they're sitting 19th in the Premier League. They are a very, very poor team. Their current manager is Sam Allardyce. They appointed Sam Allardyce in earlier on this season to replace Slaven Bilic because West Brom sacked Slaven Bilic. I do know, like I said, a few of their players. They've obviously got that Karlan Grant. They've got Grady Diangana. Grady Diangana has been out with injury. They've also got Callum Robinson. They've got Matheus Pereira. He's probably one of West Brom's best players. They've got Carnu. They've got Connor Townsend. They've got Conor Gallagher. I think they got Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea. They've got Branislav Ivanovic. They've got Maitland-Niles. They recently got him from Arsenal. They've got Bartley. They've got Sam Johnstone. He's one of their goalkeepers. He's West Brom's first choice goalkeeper. Don't forget, he's a former Man United goalkeeper, so I presume tomorrow he will be reuniting with Manchester United. So yeah, they are quite a few of West Brom's players. After West Brom, we do play Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Don't forget the first leg is going to be played in Turin due to travel restrictions in Spain. And our next league game after West Brom is Newcastle and we should be winning that. Yesterday I did give you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of this game. And obviously Solskjaer was asked about Scott McTominay's impact in front of goal. Scott McTominay has scored 7 goals in all competitions this season for Man United. Obviously Fred was mentioned during the press conference. If Fred plays tomorrow, that will be his 100th appearance for Man United. He provided us with an update on Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba. Solskjaer has confirmed that Eric Bailly has been training. So it looks like Bailly's going to be available. but Paul Pogba is still out with a thigh injury. He's going to be out for a few weeks. But yeah, in this game, Solskjaer will make some changes from the 1-0 win against West Ham in the FA Cup 5th round recently. In the game against West Ham in the Cup, Solskjaer made 6 changes from the 3-3 draw with Everton. Solskjaer did make an admission after the 3-3 draw with Everton, and he said we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. So he's disregarded the title. A lot of Manchester United fans have disregarded the title, but before the admission, Solskjaer didn't mention the title race. He was just taking one game at a time. I think we'll win another Premier League title at some point, maybe next season, maybe next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. The FA Cup is a chance of a trophy, and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. But yeah, I was very, very disappointed that we didn't beat Everton, because we should have beaten Everton because we squandered a 2-goal lead. We was leading twice in that game. And if David De Gea effectively cost us that game against Everton, reflecting on the 2 mistakes he made. Don't forget, Solskjaer recently warned David De Gea that his place is not secure in the Man United team, but he says no one's place is safe. They've got to earn their place. So David De Gea did get criticised, but in the last couple of years he's been making calamitous mistakes. But I still think David De Gea is going to remain our number one for at least this season. This year's summer transfer window is very, very important for Manchester United, because we do need to make signings. Manchester United have a 5-man centre-back transfer shortlist. Solskjaer's priority is a new centre-half. Solskjaer did recently say that our summer transfer plans could be affected by the pandemic. But despite the pandemic, I am still expecting us to make signings, and hopefully in the summer transfer window, Woodward will back Solskjaer, because I think the transfer window Solskjaer's enjoyed so far, he hasn't been backed enough by the board. Solskjaer has enjoyed 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager so far. He says we are prepared to smash our transfer record in the summer, and Woodward is set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. I've already given you the 3 areas where Manchester United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. It was a disappointing January transfer window for Man United, like I said, because we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. You know, we got Amad Diallo Traore in a deal worth £37 million. With add-ons included, we paid £19 million up front. But Solskjaer did say a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. We was focusing a lot more on the outgoings in the January transfer window rather than the incomings. And to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's credit, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Man United. We saw a few players leave in the January transfer window. We saw Jesse Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We saw Tiedemann Mengi go out on loan. We let Marcus Rojo go. Odi Nagalo said his farewells to the club, and Timothy Fosu-Mensah left Manchester United. And I think, more players will leave the club in the summer transfer window. Like I've said, Paul Pogba could still leave in the summer. Juan Mata could leave in the summer. Matic could leave in the summer. And I'm expecting Phil Jones to leave this year. Phil Jones has been out with injury for the past 12 months, but Solskjaer said he's going to be given a second chance. Obviously, the news on Erling Haaland. I give you an update on him yesterday. Solskjaer makes a new Erling Haaland transfer admission and opens up on Erling Haaland relationship and Man United's interest. Solskjaer was asked about Erling Haaland and he did mention that he is following his progress. Solskjaer would love to sign Erling Haaland because Solskjaer knows the player well. Solskjaer was the one that gave Haaland his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. And back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Earlier on this season, Erling Haaland's father was talking about his son's transfer links to Man United. Now, next year, Erling Haaland will be available for £68 million because that's when his release clause does become active. But since his arrival at Dortmund, he's been a revelation. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him, and he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. He has been at Dortmund now over a year. Chelsea are in for him. City are also in for him. I also give you the news on Jadon Sancho yesterday. According to Eurosport, we think we can get Jadon Sancho for just £50 million at the end of the season. Dortmund face a summer of exits. He says Dortmund could sell up to 8 players in the summer to raise funds. Dortmund have already reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million. I still think that's far too much for him. I think he's worth between £60 to £70 million. Now, obviously, last summer, Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target, but Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. You know the news on Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid. Fabrizio Romano recently denied that we made contact with Sergio Ramos's agent, but it's actually mentioned that Sergio Ramos wants to come to Manchester United. Because he rejected a 2-year contract offer from Real Madrid. So this summer, he's going to be available on a 3. Sergio Ramos has enjoyed 16 years at Real Madrid. He's made over 600 appearances in all competitions. He's won 22 major honours at Real Madrid. Real Madrid paid around €27 million for him from Sevilla back in 2005. It'd be good if we got Sergio Ramos because he'd go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. But he'd be only at the club for short term because he is the age of 34. But like I say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is making very, very good progress at Man United. In recent months we've seen performances improve. Certain players are improving. Like I said, we've been very, very good away from home under Solskjaer. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row until Sheffield United had beaten us. Solskjaer has got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. We are going to be playing Leicester, which is going to be a tough game. We progressed to the FA Cup quarter-finals for the 7th consecutive year. This season, Solskjaer got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, lost that to Man City 2-0. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club, got us qualification for the Champions League, got us third, the second highest we've finished since Ferguson, and he also guided us to 3 semi-finals. Despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer with transfers, I still think he has made good signings as Man United manager. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Palestri in, and Amad Diallo Traore. So he spent over £200 million at the club. Like I've said, I do think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserves a new contract, reflecting on the progress he's made. Man United will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. He said we could offer him a new 2-year deal on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League. Solskjaer has like 16 months left on his current contract. When we give Solskjaer the job permanently back in March 2019, he signed a 3-year contract with Man United. Solskjaer has managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. And Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at the club. This is his second full season at the moment. I think, if we finish in the top 4 this season and we win a trophy, that would represent a good season for Man United. Then that would give us something to build on for next season. Like I said, it'd be remarkable if we won the title, but obviously we're probably not going to win the title now, are we? But I can almost assure that we are going to finish in the top 4 this season. I'm very, very sceptical we'll finish out of the top 4 because, like I've mentioned, our current squad is good enough to finish at least in the top 4. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. In his first 3 months at the club, he was the interim manager. He won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. So obviously the club decided to give him the job permanently in March 2019. There was a lot of United fans saying we did give him the job too soon. But we deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer because he could have easily been sacked as Manchester United manager. We have endured bad periods under him, and obviously Solskjaer's been criticised a lot as Man United manager. But obviously with how good we've been in that, our perceptions have started to change on him. Reflecting how long he's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience. He's learnt quite a bit on the job. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. I still think there's a few things he's got to do at Man United. He's got to identify his best 11. He's got to get his selections right persistently. He's got to give Donny van de Beek more opportunities. So, yeah. But it's good that we've been seeing consistency under Solskjaer because we didn't see consistency for a long time. I'd probably say now Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, and we're not even really known as a sacking football club. But like I say, these players that are really improving at Manchester United. You know, you've got Luke Shaw that's really improving. You know, he's getting forward well. He's creating chances for his teammates. He's putting good crosses into the box. And defensively, he has been superb. I think Luke Shaw's had a good career at Man United, apart from obviously the injuries that he's had. He's been at the club now over 6 years and still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles last summer. Eric Bailly, I think he's done very well in the games he's played in, but my element of concern about Eric Bailly is too injury prone, but I certainly prefer Eric Bailly to Victor Lindelof. Harry Maguire, I think he's improving because he has enjoyed good games this season, but he still certainly wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive sign at the club. Don't forget he had that incident in Greece before the start of the season. Dean Henderson, he's also done well in the games, you know, he's played in this season. And I think at some point he will become our number one, Dean Henderson. Because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one because he has got that experience behind him. Dean Henderson did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And before the start of this season, he signed a 6-year contract with the club, so he committed his future with Man United. And Wan-Bissaka, aspects of his game are really improving. You know, there's been some games this season where he's got forward quite well. He's took players on at the edge of the box. He's put good crosses into the box. Defensively, Wan-Bissaka has always been superb. This is his second full season at Man United. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. He scored 2 goals for Man United. I also think that Fred is really improving as a Man United player. You know, he's showing good attacking intent, he's breaking up the play well, he's getting forward well, his passing's getting better. Fred's been at the club now for a few years. We got Fred in a deal worth £52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred endured a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, didn't he? But I've got to say he was a world-class player at Shakhtar Donetsk. Paul Pogba's also really improved. He got voted Player of the Month for January. Pogba scored a very good goal in our 2-1 win against Fulham earlier on this season. But the vast majority of his performances have been very good, Paul Pogba's, since he came back from the ankle injury that he had earlier on this season. He was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. And obviously now he's out with a thigh injury for a few weeks. Mini Oriola has refused to discuss Paul Pogba's future. He admits he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. Mini Oriola made an announcement back in December, don't forget, and Solskjaer was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Now, there's 3 clubs that want Paul Pogba, and that's Juventus, Real Madrid and PSG. Paul Pogba has recently been approached by Juventus again. Reports were stemming from Italy saying that Juventus offered us 4 players in exchange for Paul Pogba. So there's a good chance that he will go back to Juventus. But he has had a long-running transfer saga. Now, was it last month? He did say that Paul Pogba was considering making a U-turn at the club. That means staying at Manchester United. And he contradicted his agent, Mini Oriola, for the second time. Now, we have held talks with Paul Pogba regarding his future. Solskjaer insists that Paul Pogba is happy at Man United, and he suggested Solskjaer that Pogba could sign a new contract. Paul Pogba's brother Matthias Pogba recently gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future, and he actually advised us to sell Paul Pogba during the summer if we are to get the money. He said he's no intentions of signing a new contract and he could leave for nothing next year. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract, so he's under contract with the club until June 2022. He's our most expensive sign at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Scott McTominay, I've got to say, he's enjoyed some very very good games. This season. McTominay obviously scored in extra time against West Ham in the FA Cup 5th round. Took his goal very, very well. It was a very, very good volley from Scott McTominay. I think he also did very, very well against Watford in the FA Cup 3rd round. Scored the goal in that one. He did well in the 9-0 win against Southampton, and he also did very, very well in the 6-2 win against Leeds, because he scored twice in that game and he also got an assist. Just after the first lockdown, I think it was, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United. Now, Donny van de Beek, I think he's also a very, very good player when he plays. You know, Donny van de Beek has played nowhere near as much as I expected him to when he came in. Most of Donny van de Beek's appearances have come from the bench. You know, he's only started 2 games in the league so far this season, and that was West Ham and Southampton. Donny van de Beek did start against West Ham in the Cup. He actually struggled in that game, but he did have some nice touches and he made some good runs. Solskjaer did say after that game against West Ham that he disagrees with the criticism of Donny van de Beek. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer made an admission saying that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at the club because of his lack of game time, but he's actually promised him more game time at Man United. Mark Hughes believes that the players don't trust Donny van de Beek. But you know, we got him in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons. And he's got a contract with the club until 2025. You know, you can put Donny van de Beek in 3 different roles. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder. That was his predominant position at Ajax. You can put him as a number 10 and you can also put him out wide. ESPN said during the January transfer window that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van de Beek. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, he's an exceptional player. He's our best player and he's the best signing we've made since Ferguson, because Bruno Fernandes has made the difference in the team. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. There has been a few games where he has looked off the pace. We have overplayed him, but Fernandes doesn't want a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. Fernandes said on his 12-month anniversary that he's planning on spending many years at Manchester United. He's won Player of the Month now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. I think we're already looking to extend Bruno Fernandes' contract, by the way. His current contract with us expires in 2025. There's also an option of a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for Bruno Fernandes, but the overall cost is just over £67 million, with obviously add-ons included. Marcus Rashford is also really improving, but he's still enjoying poor games and he's obviously enjoyed bad periods. But you know, Marcus Rashford has been part of the club for several years, hasn't he? I just think we need to keep Marcus Rashford out wide because that's where he's more effective. And Edinson Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. You know, I like Edinson Cavani's movement in and out of the box. I think he can score good goals, he can create chances, and his hold-up play is very good. I can assure Cavani will see out his contract at the club. By the way, Edinson Cavani got handed a 2-match international ban. Earlier on this season, Cavani had a 3-match ban for Man United with a racist comment that he'd put on social media back in December. So there you go. But like I say, in regards to Solskjaer, I think he's doing a good job to say he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And I think he handled the pressure well when he was actually very close to getting sacked. Don't forget Solskjaer's inheriting players from other managerial eras. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.